In my recent conversation with PCI President and CEO David Sampson, he provided insights into the new Federal Insurance Office and the impact of F-SOC SIFI designations on the industry and on the consumer. Here is what he had to say.
Well, if you go back to the Dodd-Frank Act, which is the financial regulatory overhaul of the U.S. regulatory market, and if we assume that laws and enacted language is still important in D.C., which I hope that it is, it clearly, that language that created FIO clearly says that FIO is supposed to be a center of insurance expertise for the federal government. It affirms that the Federal Insurance Office is not a regulator, and it reaffirms that the primary regulator of insurance in the U.S. is still the state-based regulatory system. So we have a very good working relationship with the FIO. I think that it's important for the federal government to have a strong center of excellence and understanding of what's happening in the marketplace. I think it's important for issues like congressional consideration of the National Flood Insurance Program as well as the Terrorism Risk Insurance Act. I think it's very important for that voice to be heard within the executive branch and within the Treasury Department. We think FIO has a very important role to play in the international regulatory discussions as well, since the U.S. Constitution clearly makes the point that only the federal government can speak on behalf of the United States in international forum, and so we think that there is an important constructive role for FIO to play in all of those areas. Well, I think quite honestly, it's too early to say what it means for the insurers that have been designated. I think they're clearly trying to figure this out. At the minimum level, we can say that it means an extra level and layer and intensity of oversight. We hope that that it's proportional to the kind of business that they're in. After all, the International Association of Insurance Supervisors said earlier this year that the normal business of insurance is not something that is systemically risky. And I think if we go back to looking at the financial, since the onset of the financial crisis, the insurance industry has performed quite well throughout this period of time, dealing with major natural catastrophes, as I already alluded to, in a way that was very responsive, and still, the industry is currently at a record level of capitalization. It's weathered a historically bad investment environment, and still a very financially strong industry. But I think you've hit on a very important question: is what does this ultimately mean for the consumer? And I think that's the issue that's really been lost in all of these discussions, and I think goes to really the heart of our concerns about this momentum toward global regulatory convergence. Is what's the impact going to be on consumers out there, and how does this really benefit them?
For more of our coverage of the PCI annual meeting in Boston, Massachusetts, visit the WRIN-TV On Demand library.